Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome here at Crypto Hash Review, where we educate and disseminate information about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies from a Muslim perspective. Another one, we still continue our videos dealing with the objections made about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies from religious individuals or icons or speakers. One of them was, and I quote, "Who are these miners? They are unknown." Now, this is a typical objection, and I don't mean it in a bad way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. In Islam, we give a lot of weight to the shahada, the testimony, and a very big part of the testimony is their reliability. So, if a person is known to be reliable, has proven to have a proven track record of being reliable, we take that as the likelihood this person is going to be honest and reliable moving forward. Basic common sense. So if someone is unknown, or if he's known to be even bad, then in Islamic tradition we tend to reject his testimony and his actions and so on and so forth. So if you have miners doing something as important as securing our financial monetary system, then yeah, that is a genuine objection. I mean, who the heck are these people? I mean, how do we know that they're not scamming us? How do they know? How do we know they're not planning to destroy the Muslim Ummah? Well, we first have to explain how the Bitcoin network works as it relates to miners. And we mentioned it in our previous videos when we were describing how the system works, but we will rehash or reiterate the situation. There are two parts of the network. There are what's called nodes, which I gave an analogy before as like the huffaz, those who memorize the Quran, those who memorize the network, the blockchain, those who preserve and protect the system. And then you have miners. Miners do something completely different. Miners do a very specific, unique piece of work that once they're finished, they can walk away. Nodes, on the other hand, they're more committed to the system. They actually make the system or preserve the system on an ongoing basis. So there is an objection that they have made against not the nodes, but we just discussed that in another video. But we're particularly referring to the miners. What do miners do in the first place? And why it's important to address this is because here you want to demonstrate that miners, who they are, doesn't matter at all. Let me explain why. Just like we demonstrated in our previous video as to what Bitcoin is, we showed you that Bitcoin is basically a means of communication. So I would write a letter, let's say a letter, that I broadcast and I tell everyone on planet Earth. I say to everyone, hey everyone, I have a letter I want to announce to the world that I am giving permission for money to go from this address to this address. And here's my signature to prove that I am the owner of that original address. Here you go. So a miner, what does he do? He takes that letter, that transaction, as well as other transactions. As you saw the previous video, we had like 3,117 transactions, something like that. He makes what's called a block. What's a block? All it is a list of transactions. Money from this account to that account, and then this account to that account, and this account to that account, and the signature for each one. He just puts all these letters and transactions together in one simple block. And he adds relevant information like the time it happened and so on and so forth, whatever. Including the hash, the specific number from the previous block and whatnot. And then there is a final piece of information. A final piece of information that the miner has to find. He doesn't have it. Everything else he has, transactions, who sent, where it's going, time, date, everything. Everything's already there, he knows, but there's one piece of information he doesn't know. And that is a specific number that when put together with this other transaction hashed, it now gives you a unique fingerprint. This unique fingerprint, he has to find it, and he doesn't know what it is. No miner knows what it is. Every time a new block is required, no miner on planet Earth knows what this unique number is that would finalize and seal off this block. So they just look for this unique number. That's what they do. Once they found that unique number and they add it together with what they had before, now they have their package. Now they have their box of information, their package sealed and done. And then what they do is broadcast it to the world. So at this point here, we would say, okay, but who are they? I mean, surely they can do some forgery and do some shenanigans here and then broadcast nonsense. Well, that's the beauty of the Bitcoin network, because what the nodes do the nodes, they receive this broadcast from the miners and they check that box. They open the box, they unpackage everything, and they verify, okay, this transaction from this one to that one, it's been signed, that's okay. Doesn't transaction to here, that's a sign, that's okay. They check everything that the miners previously checked. So the miner does the same check-in, they do the same check-in, and then finally they take that piece of information that was found out by the miner, that number that was found by the miner, and they plug it into that system, and they check, does this give us that special number that we're looking for, that special signature we're looking for? If it does, there we go. Alhamdulillah, you won. Miner, so-and-so, you've got your Bitcoin, you've won, you've earned your Bitcoin because you found that unique number. So who the miner is doesn't matter, because all that matters is, does the block that they have put together, does it follow the formula and does it all add up? It's like saying, it's like giving you an equation. 2x plus y equals 15. What is y? Someone has to find out and figure out what is y. Some miner will say, yeah, y is 5. All we do, we take the 5, we take the 3, we plug in all the information that the miner has given us, and we verify, does the equation balance? And if it does balance, then we accept it, alhamdulillah, and then we add it to the blockchain and we move on. So the reason why the miner's identity, whether he's a criminal or he's the Pope or he's the Sheikh, al-Allama, it doesn't matter who he is. All that matters is the data he's put forward. Is the data correct? And we can verify that mathematically. Now, as it relates to Islamic sources like the Quran and Sunnah, we needed to know who they were, because there's no real way of verifying information through mathematics. There's no equation we can use on a hadith to say, yeah, this is authentic because it equals to 0, and that's what you're looking for. There's no equation for that. We have to go by the reliability of the narrators and the likelihood of the narrators lying. Hence why we look at various different chains, how different paths and information has gone by. If you can collect 50 different chains all saying the same thing, we could say that's impossible for there to be a lie. How can 50 different chains, 50 different paths of the same hadith be a lie? That would be such a coordinated event or act. It's impossible for that to have occurred, as an example. So reliability, all that kind of stuff is very important for some things, but for the Bitcoin network, it has been designed that the individual parties involved don't need to be reliable. It's a trustless system, a system that does not rely on trust. It actually encourages you to verify yourself. So if you really want to take Bitcoin to the full maximum level, what you would do is you would download the Bitcoin network, node network, and you become a node yourself. What do you have to do? Nothing. Just download the software, load it up when you start your computer, and just leave the computer. And the computer itself will download every transaction, verify every transaction, and then at the end of it, you become a fully verified node, i.e. you become a hafidh, the memorizer of the whole blockchain. And if anyone wants to know if their transaction has been verified, they can come to you and say, Sheikh, has the transaction been verified? And you will consult your hifth, and you say, yes, it has been verified. I hope you find this video beneficial and useful. Please like this video if you find it beneficial. And if you wish to contact us for whatever reason, you can find us on our website, cryptoattribute.com. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.